read all 4,800 pages?
I skimmed it. Or you could take
It
mine.
is right here.
That might
It is
be-
100.
So you brought the big briefcase today.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
It's probably like $10 to print.
What is this?
Merry Christmas.
That's very cool.
Thank you.
Are they trying to sell me a house?
Monique, you're trying to kill more pages.
That's cool.
Make some good pillows.
I mean, this is probably the wrong man I'm moving to. Sell my house right here.
I'll take this one.
Okay. 8 copies of each. Okay.
No big deal. Take this one.
For the big one. I would say over years.
400.
Yeah. That's gonna be a pretty awesome community though. That's my drive. That's my commute every day. I went through a lot of it, yeah, because I have a geology degree, so it's cool.
You wanna
read all,
help?
like,
Oh,
the
yes,
geology
yes.
stuff. No, it was
Do you want me to pass it?
really, that was the best part. Dude, I was reading all that and I'm like, oh my goodness,
gave
there's
up.
2 packets.
Thank you.
You're a star tonight.
This is cool.
The applicant purchase. Thank you.
That's very nice of them. Yeah. You know what? You can finally see it because on the agenda, this thing was so blurry. You couldn't read anything.
I mean,
Thank you. This is plan 1.
One's west and one's east.
thank you.
No. Plan 1 through, this is a 1 through 2. East and west is
I need to give this back. These are extras.
east. No, this is stacks. Okay, ready.
See if his grants. Oh,
These
I
things
thought
are
it
new
was,
now.
I thought it was Cerritos West and Cerritos East.
Yeah, there is. What's crazy? This is a cliff right here. And this one at the very top of the mountain.
Good. Ready, guys?
Yes.
Yeah. Good evening. I would like to call the November 18, 2025 Planning Commission meeting to order. Please note this meeting is being hosted through live stream on the city website and by teleconference via Zoom. I would like to remind the planning commissioners to have their microphones turned on and positioned so the audience can hear. Director Monique, when we have roll call, please.
Commissioner Worth is absent with notice. Commissioner Viramontes,
Here.
Commissioner Hill,
Here.
Commissioner Barahona,
Here.
Chair Beamsterfer.
Here. Commissioner Barahona, can you do invocation and flag salute, please?
Sure, we'll start with the flag salute. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please stay standing. Dear Heavenly Father, guide our thoughts and decisions tonight. Grant us wisdom, unity, fairness for our community, and bless this meeting in your name we pray. Amen.
Agenda item 4 is the public comment period for items not on the agenda. Are there any members of the public present that would like to comment on an item not on the agenda? City Clerk?
Chair, there are no public comments.
Okay. And e-comments?
No e-comments.
Okay. And now we're going to move on to the approval of the minutes. Agenda item 5A is the approval minutes of the meeting of October 7th, 2025. Does the commission have any comments or corrections?
No, I reviewed them. Make a recommendation to approve the minutes of the Planning Commission meeting of November 4, 2025.
I second that.
I have a motion by Commissioner Hill and a second by Commissioner Viramontes. And I do want to point out for the record that there was one slight administrative fix to the minutes under page two of the minutes. There needed to be an abstention and an absence noted into the record. So I just wanted to make that note for the record that there was a small correction.
Noted.
We'll do a roll call. Commissioner Viramontes,
Here, or yes?
Commissioner Hill,
Yes.
Commissioner Barahona,
Yes.
Chair Beamstiffer.
Yes.
That motion passes 4-0.
Okay, next we have agenda item 6, public hearing item, beginning with 6A, the extension of time for the site development SDR modification. Staff, can we get presentation?
Good evening, Chair. Good evening, Commissioners, staff, members of the community. My name is Nathan Morin. I'm the Assistant Planner here at the City of Hemet in the Community Development Department. Tonight, I will be presenting the extension of time 25-001 for the Latham project. This is an extension of time for a site development review modification number 21-018, which is a modification to number 20-002. This project meets the strategic plan integration.
Is there a way we can move that over here so we can see it?
Or
Let's
down
see if we
here.
can get the monitor
Oh,
up
there
at
is
the
this monitor.
podium. Can we get that turned on, please? Is it possible?
Sorry about that, but I can't really.
How's it going, guys? Oh, yeah?
There we go. Perfect, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
So this project meets the strategic plan integration goals 1 and 2 for quality of life and as well as economic opportunity. The applicant for this project is Mr. Tuen Ma. He is here with us this evening. The property owner for this project is U.S. Pacific Capital. This project is located on the south side of Latham Avenue, just to the east of Lyon Avenue and just to the west of Elk Street. Parcel number 442-060-046. A little bit of a brief background on this project. This project was last at Planning Commission on January the 4th, 2022, when it was approved for a site development review modification 21-018. The entitlement was set to expire July 4th of this year, which is why we are here this evening. The applicant has requested an extension of time for extension of time 25-001. And as I mentioned previously, being that this was here prior, this gives the authority to the Planning Commission per section 90-48.8. And I'd like to note as well that the Planning Commission does have the authority, if they choose so, to grant us a 3-year extension instead of just a 2-year extension. For the record, this item was publicly noticed in the newspaper in the Press Enterprise on November the 6th. Shown before you is the proof of publication as well as the publication that was in the newspaper as well. In addition, there was also mailed out to 619 recipients within 500-foot radius of the project site to occupants and owners. This was the mailing that the occupants and owners would have received in their mail, albeit it was a black and white version, but it was this mailing that they received. And this is the certification of the mailing that was sent. Shown before you is the aerial view of the project site. Just to the south of it is located a C2 commercial corridor. You have businesses such as the Salvation Army, the AutoZone, the Coach Light Motel. Just to the east of it, you have C1 zone properties, which is a mobile home park. Albeit it's residential, it is zoned commercial. To the north of it is another mobile home park, which is zoned R3. And just to the west of it is a vacant lot as well. That is zoned as a C1 parcel. The land use for this site is very high density residential. For this site location, the proposed density is 36 dwelling units per acre. The range for this would be 30 to 45 dwelling units per acre, which this project meets within that range. The zoning of this location is R4, which is also multifamily residential, but at a higher density. Just like the land use was very high density, this R4 is a bit more dense than the R3, as you see to the north of it there. Shown before you is mainly for purposes of context. Some of the planning commissioners were not on this public hearing on the January the 4th of 2022. So this is more for informational purposes. This project tonight is not open for any kind of modifications. Only we are doing tonight is an extension of time for what was already approved previously. Shown before you is a 107,267 square foot development site, 111 units, 3 stories. There's bocce courts, 19,957 square feet of landscaping, as well as 136 parking spaces. The difference from the original STR that was approved in 2020 was that this project has 111 units versus the first one had 120 units. So it's just a decrease slightly. Otherwise, everything else, all the amenities are still the same as they were before. Shown before you is the architectural renderings of this building. As you see, it's a 3-story building. The colors that are chosen are mostly kind of desert colors, yellow, orange, kind of reddish colors, tannish colors for the color that they will be painting this building. Units plans are shown on the screen before you, showing studios, 1-bedroom and 2-bedroom apartments. Shown before you is the first floor plan, which has 29 units. I'd also like to note that the indoor recreation area where they can have opportunities to like play cards and socialize is on the first floor of this proposed development. And there are 3 elevators and stairways, of course, to access the multiple floors. Second floor has 41 units, and the third floor is identical to the second floor as well, with the same amount of units. Shown before you is the landscaping plan. This is what they provided. It's a grading plan, but they provide the landscaping on top of this, but they do have a very wide array of landscaping that they're putting in, from trees to bushes to flowers, ground cover as well. Just a brief history on this. This project originally started with SDR 14-002, known as Pension del Sol. And then with EOT 16-005, there was an extension of time for 3 years. Under AB 1561, this applied due to the COVID-19 pandemic. It met the requirements for projects that were approved and set to expire within a set time range. this project qualified that and gave them an extension of time. Under SDR 20, that's where this project becomes the Latham. Essentially, at this point in time, the project had provided 120 units. Everything I guys mentioned before with the landscaping, the parking, all of that was the same. With SDR 21-018, they then provided 111 units as a difference for this project. Under AB 2729, this was another extension of time. This is what brings us here tonight. This extended the project until July the 4th of this year. The project originally would have expired on January the 4th of 2024, but because of this legislation, they were granted an 18-month extension of time. Which brings us here to tonight, EOT 25-001. The applicant requested extension of time 26 days prior to the expiration. So, just a little more information for the general public. They can read this on the screen if they're observing this from home, and for yourselves as well. Much of this is already stuff I've already mentioned. This project has established use and reliance in that this project was already in the process of trying to get grading permits as well as building permits, and up until September 25th of 2024, they were already applying for their fourth revision to their grading permit. It was only at this time that the project was denied further as meeting its time limits to develop, because it was under the understanding that this project had expired on time. It was unaware to the staff, however, that the state law had applied to this project, and which is what brings us here tonight. I'd like to point out that projects typically will have over 100 more conditions. This project had several conditions, and they were still in the process of meeting those conditions so they can get their building permits issued to move forward with their project. Findings in support of this request show that the legislation that passed granted them the extension of time, being that the city staff was under the impression that this project had expired. It had carried this on longer, so the applicant was not able to apply for their next steps to get their building revisions, their grading permit revisions. But as we later discovered that there was a piece of legislation that allowed this to continue, it was near the time of expiration, so the applicant had reached out and requested an extension of time weeks prior to the actual extension of July 4th of this year. And being that they were in the process of trying to get their permits, this is what establishes their findings to support this request. This project previously already had a CEQA exemption under a Class 32 for infill development. This project does meet all the listed above. It meets all the land use, the zoning requirements. Utilities can be served. This project doesn't have any impacts on any significant impacts rather on the traffic, the noise, the air quality, as well as utilities can be served to this project. It's respectfully recommended that the Planning Commission adopt Planning Commission resolution approving extension of time for 25-001 for a 2-year extension for site development review modification to 21-018 to site development review 20-002, and to direct staff to file a notice of exemption with the state clearinghouse and county clerk for this project. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much for that presentation. We'll start with the commission. Do you have questions for staff?
Yeah, I have a couple questions. This process started back in 2014, correct?
Correct, yes.
Has it been the same applicant the whole time?
No, it has not been the same applicant.
Okay. Do we know when the applicant started their time frame, or like when they started, since it wasn't back in 2014? Was it that in 2020?
For the record, I can't say the exact year specifically to date, but it would have been by 2022, I believe. But the applicant is here tonight to be able to speak more on that specifically.
Okay. And then what happens if we don't approve an extension of time?
Then the project ends tonight.
The project ends tonight. On the staff report, I didn't see how many trash enclosures? Because it was kind of blurry. Do you know how many trash enclosures there were?
I did not look at that detail, no.
Okay, because if I did see, I only saw one, and I feel like one isn't enough for 111. But I guess this isn't about that, right? This is just
Correct.
extension of time.
This was already
Right.
previously approved for as is.
Okay. All right. I have no other questions.
I have, Nathan, thank you for that. Few questions. I'm a little confused when you were talking about the issue of the latest laws that caused this request. I'm not understanding what the correlation is there.
So essentially what happened is, let me look at my staff report here to give you the specifics on that one.
Okay?
Okay. So under the Assembly bill, it was approved in the fall of 2024. With that approval, it was given the extension of time if the project was entitled before a beginning date and an end date to expire. Being that this project met that requirement, the minimum requirement for that Assembly bill, it was granted an 18-month extension.
That's where the 18 months comes in.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And so what happened was, along the way, staff was not aware that there was an Assembly bill that was passed really close to the time this was expiring, but it expanded the range beyond just this year. It was months, several.
Okay.
And so being that this project qualified, it later became aware that this project actually was still an active project because of this Assembly bill. But it was at a later point in time when it was near the actual new expiration date of July 4th, towards the end of spring, beginning of summer,
Mhm.
that the applicant requested an extension of time, which would have
Okay.
been June 9th, 26 days prior to the actual expiration date.
Okay. Do you know what AB bill that was?
That would have been, let me see, 2729 Assembly bill.
Okay. All right, that clears that up. Thank you. You mentioned that you did a public mailing out, and I didn't hear about any responses, or was there a response?
I didn't get any, no, none
So
directly to me.
no response from the public? Okay.
None.
And then 2 or 3 year extension is what we're looking at here tonight.
Yes.
Does 2 or 3 years mean anything different to staff?
Just allows the applicant more time to
Okay.
process with the permitting process.
So you're indifferent to whether it's 2 or 3 years?
Personally, yes, I'm indifferent to.
Okay, appreciate it. Thank you, Nathan.
So I just wanted to clarify, so it's a project that started in 2014, but due to like COVID and other
Yeah, essentially,
reasons, but it wasn't the same applicant, it was another applicant.
correct.
But with this same applicant, I mean, do you think that that'll be sufficient time, 2 or 3 years? Is that reasonable with,
2 years should be sufficient.
okay,
The applicant is here this evening. They
Okay.
can respond to the timeline that the commission is expressing concern with.
okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
Just a couple clarifications. I know there was a date error that's been fixed when it comes to the planning commission. It was November, I think the date was originally 2022 when it should have been 2025. On page 4, it says the approval DOT number 25-00 shall become effective November 29, 2022 unless appealed by City Council November 28, 2022 after Planning Commission, but shouldn't it be November 18, 2025 instead of 2022? I think there's just there's a typo date in there, and I'm trying to remember exactly what page it was.
Chair, are you referring to the resolution, the planning commission
Correct.
resolution? Okay. Okay. Yes, you are correct. So on page number 2 of the planning commission, yes, the second page of the planning commission, whereas we'll just correct the date to reflect November 18th, 2025.
And then, just another clarity, is it independent senior living or assisted senior living? Because there's on printed assisted senior living?
It's assisted senior living, active senior living, 62 and older.
Okay. And just to kind of follow up on what Commissioner Hill said and what the city is saying is this issue we ran into is more of a city fault error that they weren't aware of the assembly bill. So therefore nobody's perfect, so we do make mistakes. And they file for an EOT extension of time, which I'm sure costs a fee to file.
Yes.
And so I'm just kind of go off what Commissioner Hill said about 3 years. I think 3 years would be at least fair to give them a little extra time for a city error, since they're still paying for the extension of time. At least give them that little extra time as an apology on our behalf. I just think 3 years would be, you know, if you say not really that impactful between 2 and 3, at least give them 3 years. Let me see if there's any other questions I have real quick.
Yeah, and I'd like to hear what the applicant has to say about that.
Yeah. And more the applicant, I'll have a question for the applicant. I'm just curious as what it costs for senior living per square foot. I'm just curious about that, if they know that answer, but I have no other questions for staff. Anybody else have questions before we have open up public hearing?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And with that, we are going to go ahead and open up public hearing. I guess we can start with the applicant if you'd like to approach the podium. And if you can state your name, please.
Hi, good evening. Thank you. Yeah. My name is Tuan, T-W-E-N, Ma M-A. I'm the project architect, also represent the developer. I took over this project 2023, prepared the construction documents, and work with the structural engineer, MEP engineer, landscape engineer, architect, and the civil engineer. He's a local. We formally submitted the plan check, paid plan check fees in end of 2023. One thing I wasn't learned the expiration of January 4th, 2024, we need an extension. Not talking about this assembly bill, but I missed that calendar. We received the first plan check comments. We prepare and resubmit. And then we received the second plan check comment. We resubmitted. At that time, Monique reminded me, Mr. Twain, you have to make extension because of the case, the entitlement get expired of that day. And immediately notified the developer. We must apply extension for that. Yes, there was a COVID-19 period, and the plan check is pretty much ready to get a review approved, and the financials in place. The money's there. So I told them I need to tell the commissioners, are you ready to start construction? They said yes, immediately. We put grading permit and building permit. We start construction right away. And so this is where we are. And that's why we are here. And thank you, Nathan. Thank you, Monique, reminding me of this situation. Yeah. And we're looking forward to build a good project for the community, for the seniors. I think one of you mentioned about the cost. It's about $190 square feet to build this complex. At this time, I got the number from the general contractor. Yeah, plus fees we need to pay, of course. Yeah. So that's where we are, and this is rental, and it should be healthy financially for operations. And the trash, we should have sufficient trash space. We can have like every 2 or 3 days pick up the trashes with the local trash company. That can be handled smoothly. Yeah, we want the seniors to live here in good conditions. It feels good about it. Yeah, it's a very good climate here too for them. Thank you.
Thank you. We definitely need more senior communities here, so.
Do you have any questions for the applicant?
Yes,
Yes.
go ahead.
So would you say if granted this time extension, you'd break ground? What's your timeline on breaking ground?
I would say, once the rainy season stopped next year, most likely like February and March, then we start. It's easier to do the underground works, the trenches, after the rains.
Sure.
And the construction would take about 16 months to complete.
16 months to complete. So do you think you need 3 years or 2 years?
Beginning, say next March or April, you add
'Cause how many months is that?
16 months. Yeah, 26 to 27.
That's 22 months?
It's 1 year before the Olympics.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
My clients are always talk about Olympics. They're looking for the good market.
So what's been the biggest reason for the time extension? Like what's been slowing you guys down? Just the resubmitting of the permits and things like that?
Financing.
Oh, financing?
Financing, yeah. It's
Okay.
COVID-19 is, the finance agencies are slow.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know about the market. It's getting normal.
But you said you're good to go now, right?
The fund is there. It's
Okay.
set. I asked them specifically because I will be asked this question in this political arena. So
Gotcha. Okay, so you
Right.
pretty much said that you're good to go, so
yes,
all you really need is just the building permit and then you can start breaking ground in
yes, we'll
April-ish.
almost get approved. Yeah,
All right, sweet.
Yes.
Thank you.
thank you.
Go ahead, I'm good.
All right. Twin, so the question to you is, do you want 2 or 3 years extension?
2 is good.
2 is good, you sure?
Because once we start construction with COFA inspections, automatically valid, right?
That's correct.
Okay,
I think that's the definition.
all right.
Yeah.
2 years,
Yeah, because next spring, it's very fast.
okay.
It's approaching, yeah.
That's all I
And
have.
there's no financial troubles, right?
It's better play safe than sorry. You never know what we may encounter next year, economy-wise.
You know, if it doesn't hurt anything, I just think 3 years would be safe to say, just a peace of mind for everybody. You could be done under 2 years, as quick as you want, but at least you have, for our mistake, give you that extra year.
You understand, 3 years, my wife said, they was shouting 3 years, so like, well, half a dozen times. Yeah. But anyway, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Any other questions for the applicant?
No?
Nope. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank
Any
you.
public comments or e-comments?
Chair, there are
City
no
Clerk?
public comments.
Okay, with that, we're going to go ahead and close the public hearing. Discussion or entertain a motion? Or change it to 3 years, entertain a motion?
I think you're right. I think we should just give them the 3 years and, just in case.
Yeah, I think 3 years, because you said April, that's 6 months away, 6 plus 16, 22. Anything could happen. A couple week delay here and there. Now you're at another 2 years, or now you're at 2 years. So I think maybe a 3 years is pretty good.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay. With that, Chair, I'd like to make a recommendation. Is that okay? I'll make a recommendation to, 1, adopt the attached Planning Commission resolution approving a 3-year extension of time for site development review modification number 21-018, and 2, direct staff to file a notice of exemption with the State Clearinghouse and County Clerk.
I will second that motion.
I have a motion by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Viramontes. We'll do a roll call. Commissioner Viramontes,
Yes.
Commissioner Hill,
Yes.
Commissioner Barahona,
Yes.
Chair Beamstiffer.
Yes.
That motion passes 4-0.
Now we will move on to item 6B, Cerritos West Pacific Plan, Amendment Number 4. Can we have presentation from Deputy Director Papp, please?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, staff, and community. The applicant who came out this evening, thankfully we had good weather today. It's my pleasure to present to you a proposed project for the Tres Cerritos specific plan. It would be amendment number 4, along with several associated entitlement applications. The applicant is D.R. Horton, Los Angeles Holding Company, Inc., and the property owner is also D.R. Horton. The property is located at the northeast corner of Old Warren Road and Rose Road, AKA Celeste Road. The entitlement applications that are being sought include the specific plan amendment, a tentative track map, a site development review, a model home complex, and an amendment to the existing development agreement. In terms of the Planning Commission authority, the Planning Commission has authority to review and make a recommendation to the City Council regarding the specific plan amendment. The same for the tentative track map because it is associated with a legislative action. In terms of the site development review, normally the Planning Commission would have the approval authority for that application, but again, because it's connected to a legislative action, we recommend that you advise the City Council on that action, as well as the model home complex and the development agreement amendment. This exhibit is an aerial map that shows the rough location of the properties in question. There are 10 parcels currently involved. The project site is located near the northwestern corner of the city limits, adjacent to near the city of San Jacinto, Riverside County, across Warren Road. That's also near Tockwitz High School and one of the elementary schools. I forget the name off the top of my head. I'm sorry about that. Here's sort of a community context view of the location of the project. It's nestled in between the the Tres Cerritos, just north of Devonshire Avenue. The zoning for the property is SP 009 or 90-009. It was adopted many decades ago now, actually, and has gone through a few transitions over time. The general plan land use designation for the site is low density residential, which allows up to 5 dwelling units per acre. At this time, I'm going to turn the presentation over to the representative from D.R. Horton, Parker Chorich. He's going to review the details of the project for you, and then I'll take it over after he's done to wrap up the presentation. Mr. Chorich?
Your name's Parker George?
No, it's Parker Chorich, Chorich.
Okay.
Thank you for putting the presentation back on the screen. Good evening, Mr. Chair and the members of Planning Commission. My name is Parker Chorich, a project manager with D.R. Horton, here to present Tres Cerritos, track map 31513. First, I would like to thank city staff who I've been working with to move this project forward to tonight. I also want to mention that this is my first Planning Commission presentation, so very excited to be here and thank you for the opportunity. To support this presentation, members of my team are also here in attendance for any experience or questions. We have reviewed the resolutions and conditions and accept them as proposed. To begin, and to reiterate Mr. Papp's presentation as well, Tres Cerritos is located at the northeast corner of Old Warren Road and Rose Avenue, Old Warren Road and Rose Road, just north of Devonshire. The project history does have a long history. Originally approved in 1991 as Tres Cerritos Country Club. It was later amended 3 times in 1999, 2005, and 2011. In response to the evolving market conditions and community needs, we've reimagined the plan. Our proposal includes 269 single-family homes with a broader range of lot sizes to appeal to diverse home buyers. The exhibit on the screen also highlights the updates to the land plan. I can pause here for a second. Moving on to this exhibit to highlight the proposed land plan changes, we're proposing 3 planning areas with lot sizes ranging from 3,600 square foot, 4,500, and 5,000 square foot minimums. Most of the lots in planning areas 2 and 3 do exceed these lot minimums. Overall, the project has a gross density of 1.42 dwelling units per acre and a net density of 6.6 dwelling units per acre. Tres Cerritos remains CEQA compliant. An addendum to the originally approved MND was prepared and confirming that the impacts remain within previously analyzed thresholds. Moving on to a site plan overview. Our site plan includes 269 units, just under 5 acres of usable park and open space, along with an extra just over 3 acres of sloped open space, 3.5 acres of vernal pool reserve, and just under 60 acres of conservation area. To highlight the parks shown here, this first park shown on the screen is the primary park, which is centrally located. This will be an HOA park that provides connected walkways and a variety of amenities for all the residents. The secondary park is an additional recreational space, which includes through the additional recreational spaces included through the secondary park, supporting outdoor activities and recreational activities. This site plan does highlight a lot of open space connectivity. I'm sorry, actually gonna go back for a second. The open space connectivity is highlighted through these 3 areas. The first one I would like to show you is a centrally located double paseo with an upper and lower trail system to walk through the topography of the site. This allows connection to the primary park that is located in the middle. The Area 2 represents a typical paseo section. There are 3 of these that offer connection between interior streets. These are all located through the middle of the homes as well. Section 3 that I've highlighted is our Celeste Road streetscape. Celeste Road is also known as Rose Road. We are proposing walkways and also a fenced 8-foot paseo that provides connectivity through the entire frontage of our project and also to the paseos that lead north to our parks. We work very closely with city staff to remain in compliance for fire prevention. We have provided a fuel modification plan, a fire protection plan, and also a fire access plan. Here on the screen as well is a fuel modification plan with each of the zones highlighted in their depicted color. We have zone 0, 1A, and 1B all captured within the residence rear lots. There is zone 2 and 3, which are an irrigated slopes, and that zone 3 I mentioned is a thinning zone along the hillsides. Tres Cerritos is compliant with CFC Section 503, along with Chapter 7A of the California Building Code. We are also proposing that all of the public streets are available for fire access. There are additional measures as well for maintenance paths along the hillside, drainage ditches, and perimeter rear lot walls. Our housing product has 7 diverse floor plans. You will see that there is a package delivered to you. You can take a look at it at a later time. Just wanted to provide that for additional support. But I will go through those in the next slides as well. There are 7 diverse floor plans to meet various family needs. The home sizes range from just over 1,300 square feet to just over 2,500 square feet. One highlight that I would like to make to the floor plans are that they include a multi-gen product, which includes an attached junior ADU for separate living. 25% of the units are all single story, which complies with planning standards. Now to show you each of our elevations. We can go through these quickly and you can let me know if you would like to stop on any. This highlights the specific plan elevations that were provided to you as well. There's the Santa Barbara, Craftsman, and American Country. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you for your time and your consideration today.
Thank you.
Commissioners, I hope there was enough reading material in your packet this week.
No, not at all.
Okay, there's gonna be a mild amount of overlap on some of these slides, but I'll go through those fairly quickly. So as Mr. George pointed out, this diagram shows on the left side is the existing land use plan from the current iteration of the Tres Cerritos specific plan, and the one on the right is indicating the proposed changes, which are indicated in the staff report. You had all the details related to that. In order to approve the amendments to the Tres Cerritos West specific plan, you must make these following 3 findings. These findings we had justification, the findings of fact, both in the staff report and in the resolution. Staff believes that the Planning Commission can make all of these findings in the affirmative. And as you know, with findings, all of the findings, not just the majority, every finding must be made in the affirmative in order to approve each of these planning entitlement applications. The next entitlement application is for the tract map. So this exhibit is an overview of the entire map, but because it's at such a small scale, went ahead and loaded up the other 2 for you. This would be the southerly 2/3 of the project. All of the lots have been viewed by planning staff, community development staff, and public works engineering staff, and determined that per the specific plan requirements for lot sizes, all of these lots meet the minimum depth, the minimum width, the setback requirements, all of the requirements as established in the specific plan as amended. This map would meet all of those requirements. This would be the northerly 1/3 section getting up into the hilly areas. And then here's the fire access plan, which indicates that there are 2 points of access into the tract along Rose or Celeste Road. And then that road connects to to Myers, to Warren Road, and also extends easterly and connects to all of the north-south roads going towards Sanderson. So there's adequate fire department access and turning radii met at all of the knuckles. As stated with the findings for the specific plan amendment, there are a multitude of findings of fact that must be made in order to support the tract map. So staff has prepared findings of fact that are in your staff report and your resolution, and staff believes that all of the findings can be made in the affirmative. And again, they must all be made in order for you to approve the tentative, or recommend approval of the tentative tract map. Here's the site development review summary. You've seen all of the elevations and floor plans in Mr. Chorich's presentation, so I'm not going to present those again. What I would like to present is the product placement map. So this map, it's a little hard to see at this scale, but it was provided in your packet. It shows the distribution of the 7 different floor plans as well as the different elevations, so that you can take a look at this diagram and see that there's no clustering of any certain type of architectural style or size or model. There's a very good distribution of all of those homes. So for the site development review, again, there are mandatory findings that must be made. Staff believes that all of these findings can be made in the affirmative. With respect to the model home complex, D.R. Horton proposes to build 3 model homes, 1 in each style. These would be on lots, I believe it's 110 through 113 of the proposed tract map. Lot 110 would contain a parking lot that has 5 spaces that all meet current municipal code requirements for the size. They will have a portable restroom with a hand washing station, as well as meeting all accessibility requirements throughout the model home complex. There are 5 mandatory findings in order to approve the model home complex, and staff believes that all of these findings can be made in the affirmative. With respect to the development agreement, this is a draft amendment to the existing development agreement. There are no new deal terms or deal points proposed as part of this amendment. The main focus of this is just to formally transfer ownership to D.R. Horton and to extend the time frame of the development agreement for 5 more years, which would also extend the tentative map for up to those 5 years. So that would be a total of 25 years from the original date of approval and would expire in 2029. Again, there are mandatory findings that must be made to support approval of the development agreement amendment, and staff believes that all of those findings can be made in the positive. In terms of the CEQA analysis, the project, because it changed, there are more units than there were originally approved, but the applicant prepared a consistency analysis for the previously adopted mitigated negative declaration. This included the attachments to that, which were about 4,300 pages of your staff report. Some of those were existing documents, and many of those were new special studies that had to be created for this project. They completed an initial study checklist. Part of the addendum that they prepared includes that checklist, all of the original mitigation measures that were approved for the project, and determined that there is no new significant impact related to the proposed changes to the development. In fact, in some areas like greenhouse gas emissions and other things, it's actually less with this proposal than the original proposal from 30+ years ago, due to many changes in technology regarding emissions on vehicles and construction equipment. Sorry, that one got duplicated. So therefore, staff recommends that the Planning Commission recommend that the City Council adopt an addendum to the existing mitigated negative declaration. When you adopt an addendum, that is strictly filed with the previously approved mitigated negative declaration, and there are no further action would be required. No notices of any kind would need to be filed with the State of California or the County Recorder's Office. In terms of the public notice for this project, because it's a legislative action, staff provided a 20-day public notice period. Notices were mailed out, and the item was published in the Press Enterprise newspaper on October 29th, which gives us exactly 20 days prior to hearing. And on the screen is the example of the mailer that went out. I have a couple of housekeeping items to go over. Post-publication, it was discovered that there were 2 minor errors in the packet. The packet incorrectly, I call it, Shrek fat finger syndrome, or I hit a 7 instead of a 6. So the correct unit count should be 269 units, not 279 units. We will make that correction as it appears throughout all of the documents. And then prior to publication, staff had agreed to delete a condition of approval that was errantly left in the conditions in your packet. That condition of approval is number 161, and it's related to a 20-foot wide fire access road that is not required per our fire chief. He reviewed the fuel modification plan, the fire access plan, the fire prevention plan, and determined that that road would not be needed, that sufficient access to have a 150-foot hose pole can be achieved from the primary residential streets. Therefore, staff requests that should the commission recommend approval, or whatever your decision happens to be today, that you take those corrections into consideration prior to deliberating. With that, staff respectfully recommends that the Planning Commission adopt both resolutions before you today. One would be for the addendum to the mitigated negative declaration and in support of all of the entitlement applications, and the other being for recommending approval of the draft development agreement amendment. This concludes my presentation this evening. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. The applicant and their consulting team is either here or on the Zoom call if you have any specific questions for them.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Deputy Director Papp. Does the commission have questions for staff?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, when the CEQA was done originally, was that for the 170, that was for 176 homes?
Correct.
Can staff further explain how adding 82 more homes is a minor change to the CEQA?
Yes. There are several reasons why we came to that conclusion. One is that the density allowance still fits the zoning, what would have been the underlying zoning originally, and the general plan designation now. All of the, I hesitate to use the word impacts because they're not impacts, but perceived impacts that are reviewed through the CEQA checklist and discussed in all the technical studies. All of those are under thresholds of significance that are adopted by agencies such as the South Coast Air Quality Management District. For VMT analysis, the analysis screens out, meaning that the number of vehicle trips or the number of vehicle miles traveled are below what would normally be expected for a development of this size. So all of those technical studies point that that all of the areas that are reviewed under the CEQA checklist are below all thresholds for significance.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you for that. Also, so what is, does the city itself have any plans to like mitigate traffic, adding bike lanes, improving Devonshire? That is my commute every day, and on Devonshire, there's no sidewalk, there's no bike lane, and I'm assuming 269 homes, 269 homes, like you mentioned, close to an elementary school, middle school, high school, kids are going to be walking, biking to school. There's no way to get there unless they're on a one-lane highway.
Yes, I would normally take a stab at answering that for you, but we have our resident expert,
Nice.
Deputy Public Works Director Jolene.
Hello. So typically, projects are conditioned to build those improvements along their frontage. So right now, I think there might be sidewalk along the south side of Devonshire where there's those residential homes. And then where it's all undeveloped, there is none right now. So when those projects come in and develop, that's when they're conditioned to build the full width street improvements, sidewalk, landscaping, and all that kind of stuff. So that's typically when it would be done.
Even though when it's a whole parcel in between their street and Devonshire, because I think there's like a ranch there.
It's like, it's being used for agricultural, I believe. So yeah, once that vacant parcel comes in and develops, then it would do all the frontage improvements along its boundary.
Gotcha. Okay. And then I also saw a couple cross sections of improvements to Old Warren Road and Myers. It just said improvements. It didn't say like fully paved. Are those going to be fully paved?
Yeah, Myers will be paved from Devonshire up to Celeste. It curves though, so that'll be improved. And then Old Warren Road, it will be, they'll basically repave it because it is paved right now. So any damage that they do during construction and stuff, it will be repaved.
Okay, that's cool. And do the city plan on adding any like bus stops to that area? 'Cause I don't think there is one right now.
Yeah, that's a great question. That would be an RTA question because
Okay.
all the bus stops are owned and operated by RTA,
Sure.
so not the city.
Okay. Thank you. I don't have no questions.
Absolutely.
Okay, Mr. Papp. Thank you
Yes.
for that presentation.
Mr. Hill, before you, may I respond to Mr.
Oh,
Viramonte's
absolutely.
question?
Sure.
I would point out that a Development Review Committee meeting was held for the project, and a transmittal was sent to the RTA. They did not respond, stating that they would desire to have a traffic stop there.
Okay.
Or, I'm sorry, a transit stop, not traffic stop.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, sir, I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. Any response to the mailer from the public?
No response.
None.
None whatsoever. Not a phone call, not an email, not a response letter.
Okay.
And I would point out, though, actually, since you brought it up, sir, it was mentioned in the staff report. I did not include it in my presentation, though. D.R. Horton did their own public outreach. They sent a letter out to properties, same as us, within 500 feet of the project area. They held a meeting here on November 5th, the day after the election, so it wasn't quite so crowded in the parking lot that day. From what I'm told, they had one person showed up to that meeting that was in favor of the project. They were in support of it.
Okay, sounds good. I noticed that in the CEQA Appendix D, the cultural report has been redacted.
Yes.
Can you elaborate on that?
Yes, cultural reports often contain very sensitive information to the tribes, and the tribal elders, the Tribal Historic Preservation Office prefers that certain information is not made public. So there are actually several other agreements between D.R. Horton, the Pechanga Band of Liseño Indians, and on one of those agreements is a three-party agreement including the city. But those were not included in the staff report because it's not public record.
Okay, I mean, I did see some correspondence between the tribes, and they didn't have an issue with any cultural significance in this area.
I believe that's because most of those issues were already resolved in the original mitigated negative declaration that was prepared, I believe, in 2004. So they just recently completed execution of monitoring agreements, excavation agreements. The site has already been mass graded. You can see that from the aerials. But they will have to go in and make some modifications because some of the roadway alignments are going to change slightly. Some of the configurations of some of the proposed parcels have changed slightly. So they are going to have to do some grading. When they do earth disturbing activities, they will have to have monitors out there.
Okay, so I take it there's no conflict of interest between what was put in our package from the tribes about cultural and this redacted report.
That is correct. In fact, one of the emails, I believe it was attachment number 13, was an email from the tribe's legal counsel who stated that this project, and as I asked the question specifically,
Yeah.
these agreements that they've executed with D.R. Horton, does that conclude the SB 18 and AB 52 consultation process? And they said, yes, it does. So they are perfectly content
Okay.
with all of the agreements that have been executed.
All right, so we're clean there.
Yes, sir.
Okay. How are these units meeting our RENA numbers? I didn't see anything to that effect at all in the report or anything, is there?
They are all market rate, so they will meet the market rate requirement towards our RENA, but it will not assist lowering our demand on affordable housing or for low income, very low income.
Okay, that's what I thought. All right. The recommendation that you're asking for us to do, you're asking for Commission Resolution number 2025-XXX. Do we have a number here associated with this?
I'm going to defer to our Community
if-
Development Director.
Yes, thank you. Typically, if the planning commission approves it, we will assign a planning commission resolution number. I don't want to misstate anything, but I believe it's going to be planning commission resolution 25016.
Do you want us to reference that or no?
You know, it's not necessary.
Okay.
We will prepare it and, for, the chair's signature if approved by the commission.
Okay. And are we to include the housekeeping corrections or not?
Yes, and thank you for asking that question in particular, because there is actually one other housekeeping item I failed to mention. So I
Okay.
would like to bring that up. City staff would like to add a condition. We've already discussed with D.R. Horton. They are willing to accept this condition, but you can ask them yourself if they come up. The condition of approval would read something to the effect of, should Old Warren Road be used for construction access, then reconstruction of pavement shall be required. So Old Warren Road is in rough shape as it is, and if they're moving heavy equipment in and out of the site, if they're importing or exporting any soil, anything to that effect, it's gonna it's gonna
Tear it up, yeah.
tear up that road. So they are in agreement that if they use the road for construction access, they will rebuild it.
Should Old Warren Road be used by the applicant? The applicant will rebuild the road
Specifically for construction access.
for construction access. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Papp.
You're very welcome, sir.
Hello. Thank you for the presentation. You've actually answered all my questions in regards to the school access, the roads being paved, and all of that, so
Wonderful.
no questions.
Thank you.
Good evening. So can you expand back on the history we know of this project is the drainage issues? And we just had all this rain, and I just want to make sure that in the project, they want to use the freeboards to be less than roughly right about 1 feet in the basin, 1 foot, and the Airport Land Use Commission asked for 2 feet. And so in the CEQA, the original CEQA, was the original CEQA based on the airport land use requirement, and then they made changes to that? Or has it always been 1 foot on the freeboard where the water drain, the basins go?
Honestly, I could not answer that question. I don't know if ALUC provided any comment like that previously. This was I believe it was a new condition of approval that was added at I believe it was a hearing in September held at the ALUC boardroom. Sorry, and that they offered up 10 new conditions of approval, so those were added to planning staff's conditions of approval. I'm not aware of there being a previous statute or requirement for that. It may very well be that it's a new requirement that's related to air quality.
And is there a reason why they chose 1 foot and not 2? I mean, I know it's cheaper, but there again, flooding is known for that area. Is there a reason why they didn't go with the 2 feet?
I do not know. Perhaps one of the applicant's consultants may,
Okay, they can have them
may have an
answer
answer
on
for
that.
that question.
And they will provide the pumps, and if the pump goes out, they'll have backup pumps in case the pump goes out.
Yes, we discussed that with the applicant, and they're willing to either put in a pump and a redundant pump, or having a backup pump available on site in maybe perhaps in a storage shed if they need to bring it out if a pump fails. So we will work with them to come up with something that's acceptable to ALUC and the city of Hemet.
And from again, I'm gonna go back into the original CEQA versus the new revised one. Has the basin size changed, the water basins, and footage-wise?
No, I
Or
don't
they
believe
stay
it
the
has,
same?
because the sheet flow runoff should remain the same. The topography hasn't changed. The water courses haven't changed.
Okay.
Oh, actually, I'm gonna have our Deputy Director of Public Works come up and answer that. She has additional
Sure,
information.
absolutely.
With the tentative map, they made revisions to some of the lot lines and stuff, and so the basins have changed in size. And to answer your question about the freeboard, the 1 foot of freeboard is just typical standard practice, throughout the industry, is to have 1 foot of freeboard in basins, channels, and stuff like that.
But the basins have changed in size?
Yeah, not significantly, but they have changed due to
Oh, no,
the,
not to trigger a CEQA, a change in CEQA?
that'd be Emery's.
Okay, sorry about that, making a jump up and down.
No, so the WQMP was reviewed, and it was determined that as long as there's no new impact related to it, it can be modified. It just, if there was a concern that it would create an impact, then it might trigger the need to have to do recirculate a mitigated negative declaration. But all of the technical studies indicate that even though it's being modified, there is no significant impact related to that.
I just know from history, with D.R. Horton, there's been did a little homework on nationwide news, and they've had some issues with floodings from their projects, and I just want to make sure we don't run into these issues. That's why I'm asking all about the flooding questions. Any other questions for staff before we open the public hearing?
Nope.
Nope. All right. Thank you very much, Deputy Director. And with that, we're going to go ahead and open up public hearing. And if we could have the representative from DR approach the podium.
Good to be back up here.
All right.
Hello, commissioners.
Questions for the applicant?
How you doing, Parker? Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you very much.
This is a cool project. I think it's great for that area. You know, there are some concerns with roads and this and that. I have a couple of questions for the applicant here. By junior ADU, do you mean like a casita? Is it kind of like a casita?
I wouldn't classify it as a casita. I would, when I do think of casita, that'd be a detached ADU where it's a separate living space completely that's not attached to the home. Junior ADU is more maybe just like a marketing term of an attached separate living space with a small suite. So it would have its own like kitchenette, little living room, and also its own living quarters or bedroom.
How many of the homes are going to have that?
That would be listed on our site plan. It is the plan 2480. There would be, don't have it readily available in front of me.
Okay.
I apologize.
No
But
worries.
it is listed on the site plan as how many homes there would be.
Okay.
Chair
Yes.
and Commissioner, it's gonna be Plan 5, as Parker mentioned, 5.2480, approximately 21 units for the development. And this also counts towards our regional housing needs arena.
That's what I was gonna ask.
I asked all the good questions.
Okay, good.
So I noticed that in the southwest corner of this project, there's a whirlpool. What happens when that overflows? Where would that water be going? Because is it just going to be drained into the adjacent neighbors? Because it looks like it butts up against the other neighborhoods' backyards. Are there plans? Is that where one of those pumps is going, or is the pumps just going in the basin?
The pumps will be dedicated for the basins. For that vernal pool section, it is required, or not required, but it is us providing its natural flow of water to provide the vernal pools to actually pool in that area. If there are any overflows, it would just follow its natural tributary.
Okay.
I couldn't say exactly where it would be going, but
Sure.
it is a recommendation that we do keep the vernal pools in place. And we
Okay.
do have a long time management plan already prepared.
Okay. So I think that's good. Thank you. No question.
Thank you, Commissioner.
I don't have any questions. I think it's a great development for that area.
Thank you.
I don't think I have any questions. I just, for example, on the vernal pool, your engineering is gonna make sure that the water gets to it when it needs to. In case it doesn't get to it, based on engineering, the city can get in trouble. So would D.R. Horton be picking up that expense if it's on an engineering issue with the vernal pools? I mean, I hate to bring up vernal pools, but I know we had to change streets. We
Yeah.
spent a lot of money on vernal pools.
And I completely understand, and that is a great question. I would, thank you, yeah, the answer here with vernal pools.
Dan Boyd, Vice President of D.R. Horton. First of all, I couldn't be more proud of Patrick. He's doing a pretty darn good job, don't you agree?
Excellent.
I've been with the company for 25 years doing what Parker's beginning to do this evening, so it's a pleasure to see him succeed. With respect to the vernal pool, it's a little more complicated. It's under complete control with the regulatory agencies, and D.R. Horton's been required to comply with each one of those Department of Fish and Game regulations to restore the vernal pool. We're under an annual requirement to go out there, do an assessment, make sure that what we're supposed to be doing, we are doing. And conversely, is it working? And frankly, at some point, once this project gets approved, the maps get recorded, the city has already agreed that they're going to take over the maintenance responsibilities for these vernal pools. and the financing funds from that will come from CFDs and HOAs. So it's a very complex issue. It's been with the project for decades, and frankly speaking, we had not seen measurable success with these vernal pools because there's been no water. They need water to create those vernal pool habitats. So we are under contract, if you will, with the agencies to make sure that Horton is complying with each and every regulatory action required. And then while I'm up here, and I'll sit down, going back to the ADU for just a moment, those are self-contained living spaces within the existing home. Yes, they will have their own side entrance, but they also have the ability to cook and do those kinds of things. It's not a detached ADU. I just want to make sure that the record was clear on that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other questions for the applicant?
I have one more question.
Sure.
If and when this gets approved, what's your timeline to start breaking ground and start getting those model complex up?
So our goal with the time frame is to work with city staff on getting the rest of our final engineering plans to get to approval. That may take some time. We do have some projections that we're looking at. I can't give any certain dates because I do not want to make any empty promises to Planning Commission tonight. Our goal would to be work with city staff as soon as possible so we can start getting shovel ready.
Okay, thank you.
Of course. I know it's a little vague, but
yeah, no worries.
but it's as soon as possible.
I got you.
We're ready to go.
Okay, thank you.
Not before the Olympics. Huh?
Yeah. No, this is not tied to the Olympics.
I don't have any questions.
Okay, any other questions?
No.
Thank you very much. You did a great job today.
Thank you. I
For
really
your
do
first
appreciate
one,
that.
you
First
did a
one,
great job.
yes. You guys went easy on me.
All right. With that, we're going to go ahead and close the public hearing unless there's any public comments.
Chair, I do have one member of the public on the Zoom call who's raised their hand. Mr. Shaw Rosenrager, you are now live with the Planning Commission, and you will have 3 minutes to address your comments to the commission.
Thank you. Good evening, commissioners. My name is Shaul Rosenrager, speaking on behalf of the Green Coalition of San Jacinto Valley. Our main concern is sustainability, which means the viability of this project into the future. And our future is going to be different than our present. We're looking at a warming world, and we're looking at different challenges. One of them, we're concerned about building so close to wildlands due to fires, and I don't think I need to say much more about that. You've all seen what happened in Los Angeles recently. The other concern is that this is, again, another community where every little trip requires a car, getting into your car. A good strategy for building for the future is walkable communities where people can do some of their errands by walking or a short bike ride to a commercial center. And we think that this, for example, next to the recreation area could be a small commercial center that will offer opportunity for some small businesses to be available to the residents so that they can walk and not get into their car. This is a climate mitigation strategy. I also want to comment that the Green Coalition did not get a notice about the public meeting with the developer. And thank you for your consideration.
Thank you very much. Any other public comments or e-comments?
Chair, there are no other registered comments.
Okay, and with that, we're going to go ahead and close the public hearing. Bring it back to the commission for any discussion.
I have a question for Monique. So the ADU, Monique, is, like Mr. Boyd talked about, is inside the house. It's not a separate, building. Does it still count towards the arena?
Yes, it's considered a junior accessory dwelling unit if it's integral to the primary and has its own access, separate access from the primary, as well as independent facilities for habitation.
Okay, all right, very good.
I think it's a good project.
No,
I
it's-
like it.
It's a great
It
project.
looks cool. It
Right.
kind of reminds me of Summers Bend a little bit in Temecula because it kind of builds up in a hill, so to speak.
Yeah.
Um,
Sorry to see the golf course go, but,
yeah, that'd be a tough golf course. Yeah. Okay.
Any other discussions?
No.
No,
You want me to do it?
I can do this one, I think.
Okay.
Do I have to say XXX or do I say 016?
016.
I believe Monique indicated not to put a number there.
Okay. Okay. I motion to adopt Planning Commission Resolution number 2025-XXX, recommending the City Council accept and file addendum to the previous adopted mitigated negative declaration for the Tres Cerritos West specific plan, and recommend that City Council approve the Tres Cerritos West specific plan amendment number 4 SPA 24-003, tentative track map number 31513, MAP 24-006, site development review SDR 25-006, model home complex MHC 25001, and add condition, should Old Warren Road be used as construction, DR Horton or applicant will rebuild it specifically for construction access, and adopt Planning Commission Resolution number 2025-XXX, recommending that the City Council approve Development Agreement Amendment 25-001.
And to include the corrections
The
that.
two conditions.
Housekeeping correction.
And the housekeeping corrections by staff.
I'll second.
My wife can't stop staring at me since I started wearing these pants.
Nice.
I have a motion by Commissioner Viramontes, second by Commissioner Hill. We'll do a roll call. Commissioner Viramontes?
Yes.
Commissioner Hill?
Yes.
Commissioner Barahona?
Yes.
Chair Beamstiffer?
Yes.
That motion passes as amended, 4-0.
We will now take department reports. Page. Agenda item 7, City Attorney reports. City Attorney Leo Suarez.
Thank you, Chair. Wanted to share two bills that went into effect this year. The governor signed AB 130 and SB 131. These are two major bills that speed up housing production and streamline CEQA. AB 130 makes several recent pro-housing laws permanent. It also expands the Permit Streamlining Act to include ministerial projects with faster deadlines, limits cities from adopting stricter building codes, and creates a new CEQA exemption for qualifying infill housing under 20 acres. SB 131, it adds a near-miss CEQA rule that sharply narrows environmental review when only one disqualifying condition exists, and it exempts certain rezoning and farm worker housing. It also provides new homelessness funding tied to meeting state housing goals. This is just a very general overview. I will be providing a deeper dive into these separate bills in the next coming weeks.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. 7B, Community Development Reports, Director Monique.
Thank you, Chair. I did want to report back to the commission. There was a request to learn a little bit more about what's happening with the Hemet Theater. I do not have any new information to report from the workshop that was held with the City Council and Planning Commission. We did receive an application for review of a marquee sign for the theater. So they are requesting approval of a marquee sign. That is currently under review, but there are no additional updates for the Hemet Theater.
Yeah, I heard that there's maybe a funding issue here for that. So, we'll see.
Okay, let's see here. 7C, Future Agenda Items, Director Monique.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Future agenda items will include the selection of the chair and the vice chair at the next meeting. A Public Works Water and Sewer Rate Study report will be presented. Valle de los Tres Cerritos tentative track map, that is coming through on the horizon. We are working with the applicant now. That may be a few months away. As well as the Weston Park redesign, which is making its way through the public process and will be brought to the Planning Commission for review. That concludes my report.
Sounds exciting. All right. And last Planning Commissioner's report, Director Monique.
Chair Beamsterver.
Well, I just want to kind of, again, encourage the commission to, even after this meeting, set up an appointment. But I went out and talked to Deputy Director Papp, asked him some questions about the meeting, some Q&A, and I really encourage, even the day before the meeting, a phone call, whatever it may be, I really encourage getting more involved with the staff and ask questions before the meeting. And I just really encourage the involvement on that, because it was very helpful for me going to see him the other day and ask some questions. The other thing is just a little ChatGPT research. City of San Jacinto's great banner mix-up of 2019. San Jacinto decided to boost civic pride by hanging large street banners downtown. Simple things like shop local and welcome to San Jacinto. The council approved the design package and Public cheered and Public Works went to work. The banner went up beautifully, however, there was a problem. Half of them spelled San Jacinto as Jacinito. The extra I wandered into the name looking for a new home. Drivers honked, team took selfies under the misspelled banner, and residents emailed asking if the city has changed its name for tax reasons. The city manager issued a very calm statement saying the mistake was due to filing version issue, which is basically government term of a simple copy and paste error. The banners were fixed within a week, but the joke still remains in the city of San Jacinto as spelled Jacinito. So anyway, a little fun there. And with that, there is nothing to discuss. We will now adjourn the next planning commission meeting to December 2nd, 2025 at 6 p.m.
Chair, if that's okay, we'll allow the commissioners, I know we kind of went out of order today. I apologize, yeah, we're
My
just trying to
apologies.
confuse you. We're
I
just
have
trying to
nothing
change
else.
things up a little bit. but,
Nothing else to report for me.
Thank
Just doing
you.
the last one.
Thank you. All right. Commissioner Barahona, do you have anything to report?
I don't have anything to report at this time.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Hill,
No, I don't have anything, thanks.
thank you. Commissioner Viramontes?
I have nothing to report.
Okay, with that, we're going to go ahead and adjourn the next meeting to December 2nd, 2025.